When you're facing a medical emergency, you have to trust your life to the doctors at the ER. And those doctors sometimes have just seconds to make a life or death decision.
Do you ever stop and wonder how they do it? Well, tonight, 4 in Your Corner's Lisa Greenberg is talking to a local doctor about what it's really like and giving you an inside look at life in the emergency room in tonight's special report. Lisa?
Well, Patrick, Amy, ER doctors have to work as a team, and every single person knows their job. They have a critical role. They work quickly, moving from patient to patient, balancing multiple cases. We do want to give you a heads up, though. You're about to see real footage from inside emergency rooms, and sometimes it isn't pretty.
When you're facing an emergency, you have two options. You drive yourself to the nearest hospital, or you call
911. What is the address of your emergency?
First responders perform life-saving measures, keeping you stable through a speedy ambulance ride, and take you to the ER. Either way, once inside, it's up to the emergency doctors to save you.
I love the pace of things, and it takes a certain person to be a ER doctor.
Lay still 1 minute.
Whether they're a quick fast-track laceration or whether they're having a heart attack.
Cindy, it's your turn.
Emergency medicine is a true team sport. It takes the whole department to really resuscitate someone that's very sick.
Dr. Keith Burleigh is an ER doctor at Cape Coral Hospital.
Say someone comes in cardiac arrest, they'll come right through our trauma bay doors, they're dropped into one of our resuscitation rooms. Our team organizes very quickly, everyone knows their jobs.
Techs will be running IVs, nurses will be hooking up defibrillation pads, pharmacists will be running drugs, staff will be trying to find out a patient's name. It's all about balancing quickness with efficiency while making sure patients are safe in a process called triage.
It's very important that we triage effectively, making sure that we point out and pick up the really sick people early on so that we're able to dedicate most of our resources to those sick people.
And while everyone comes into the ER in some kind of emergency,
we do need to triage because we have limited resources that we need to effectively implement.
Dr. Burleigh says when he sees a patient, he's trained to think worst case scenario first.
So someone coming in with a headache, we think, could this be a stroke? Could this be a subarachnoid hemorrhage? Could this be, something else going on? Before we think, oh, it's just a headache.
But before Dr. Burleigh was walking the halls of this ER, he was just a 4-year-old boy.
Like a good Canadian, I was tobogganing down the hill.
In a life-changing, dangerous situation.
We were going down the hill and my brother bailed. We continued to go down the hill and I hit a tree with my head.
He had a fractured skull, lost hearing in his left ear.
Was seen by ER doctor, trauma doctor, pediatric neurologist, had multiple MRIs. From that point on, as a young child, I always wanted to be a doctor.
One of his more bizarre cases happened decades later, right before Hurricane Irma.
One of the nurses was really worried about an eyeball that was hanging out.
That's right, an eyeball. So when he went over to check it out, he realized the nurses were crowded around a dog.
The eyeball was hanging out. I'm not a veterinarian and I don't pretend to be one. I have a dog, but it's a little out of my realm.
So they got creative with their supplies.
We placed a pressure dressing, and one of the staff members was able to call around to get a vet to see that dog just before the storm.
For that dog and family, it was a happy ending. But unfortunately, in emergency medicine, not every day is a good day. The hardest part?
Dealing with death and dying. It takes a certain person to deal with death and dying every day and then come back. It's a resiliency characteristic that all of the ER staff have.
And whether their patients survive or not, the doctors have to learn to compartmentalize, going from patient to patient until the end of their 8 to 10 hour shift.
We'll see a pediatric drowning, and then the next case we're going to see someone with a, eyeball injury or someone having a simple laceration. And we have to give that patient the same amount of attention that we gave the other patient and reset.
Inside the walls of the ER, they see everything from broken nails to broken hearts, pediatric to geriatric. No matter how tough Heartbreaking, draining, or demanding a shift can be,
It's a privilege to be in a discipline where you get to see someone on their worst day, potentially of their entire life, and if you can make that a little bit better, then you've done your job.
Now, Dr. Burleigh says now that it's summer, with this even warmer weather we're seeing, he is expecting to see an increase in potential drowning cases and reminds parents to, of course, keep their kids safe. For more behind the scenes, including what local ER doctors do to unwind, you can head to our website, fox4now.com, and click on this story. Lisa Greenberg, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thank you, Lisa.